Staff Yom Yerushalmi Terumos. In the article, Osva one of Daf Pei Test Amud Aleph, right at the top. There's a header, Meir Regina Shel Truma, Rabbi Yossi, and that is going to be in the Vilna on Mem Tes Amud Beis. I'm guessing without a header. So we find Rabbi Yossi Zos Omeres. Somebody's got to be right. Yeah, that's the 1, 2, 3, 7th line down. First word in line. I guess there's no header, but starts Amar Rabbi Yossi. Okay, so the Mishnah said that if you have 100 patches of truma and one of chulin, they're all mutter. If it's davar sugar kola, obviously the rabbinic leniency of they are heimamo, but it's davar shein zara kola, they're machmir. Even if 100 of chulin, one of truma, they're all asurin. Okay, my Yossi says, "Zos myself on a mea so los mitoch mea seah." If you have 100 sa'ah, which comes out of 100 sa'ah, since it says in the Mishnah, even have mea and 101. If you have 100 that sa'ah, which came out of 100 different batches of 100 sa'ah, so in other words, you had 100 piles of 101 sa'ah, which were meduma, and which is so truma fell and was batel within 100 chulin in these 100 piles. But chachamim misakin that you have to take one out, corresponding to so which fell in because of gazla sheva, because they're stealing from the guanim. That's Chazal gave it a din truma, obviously rabbanan. So now you took them all up, all these 100 sa'ahs from the piles of 101, and if one and you have one of chulin together with these, and you got mixed up. You don't know which is chulin, which is from the meduma. They're mutter because our Mishnah was matir even a proportion of 100 problematic to one non-problematic. Here too, it's 100 problematic to a non-problematic, and it's similar to halacha, and therefore they are batel as if they're batel in this one of truma, one of chulin. Okay, then the Gemara says about by davar she'ein zara kola. Well, Mishnah said davar she'ein zara kola, etc. Then it does not batel. Tamar Amar Rabbi Yochanan. There Rabbi Yochanan said, "Sar truma shtinafa toch mea chulin." You have a sar of truma which fell to 100 chulin, but also mitoch mea. Then one of these you took out one from them, as you're supposed to. So the chulin kosheim bevatli nosa. No, if you have no matter how little is about them. Hacha here leakate. You gather the bemazed talking about, and it became usher. Nevertheless, chulin koshu got mixed in. It is the mutar. I should explain that better. So you took out there in Perikei Halacha Beis. That's the Talmud. It said if you took out a saw of the saw caused by that which fell in, so chulin koshein which here means not a koshu mamish, but a majority, right? 1 to 1, 1.1 to 1. Sorry, 1.1 chulin to 1 truma is mevatalit, and therefore the truma is batal. Here by davar she'ein zara kola, we say they're all usher. So you gather b'mezid, right? Then they're not batal, like the Mishnah said, because there was a batal chulin karka and batli yischatchila. And then the chulin koshein fell in its mutter, meaning if even a portion 1.1 to 1, because it says meikar din bittul Mikadin Bittul Rabbanan, it was batel in 100, but Rabbanan said no, not once Chubal Karka. Nevertheless, if it's then you took it out, it came out, and um, you took it out liberally, right? Liberally, which is not good. Nevertheless, we got mixed in with 1.1 since Mikadin has batel, got mixed into 1.1 of Chulin, so then it is batel. So that was your Mishnah said, Dover Shem Mechubel Karka is not batel because it's like a Dover Chashiv. Dover Chashiv is also the Rabbanan. So this whole thing is Rabbanan, and therefore Rabbanan is Mekel, a simple majority of 1.1 to 1. Okay. The Gemara says further, Kama the Rabbi Yossi, well, actually, it's in our Gemara it says Kama the Rabbi Yechanan, but the Kabbalah changes Rabbi Yossi. I'm sure somebody else does too. Yeah, the Rashiloyo. Kama the Rabbi Yossi Amar Tama Tochin Umatir. So this is Parakeh Halacha Gimel. Rabbi Yossi said, if you have a sar truma to which fell into less than 100 chulin and you ground them, and now the proportion went up and it's more than 100 to 1. If you know the chulin are better than the truma, and the proportion increase comes from the chulin, it's mutter. And the Brisa says you can even grind it nor deliberately, and it's mutter. And the Gemara says like Rabbi Yossi, who says when you have natil sha'ar v'kilakem, which got mixed up 200 natils of heter, Rabbi Yossi allows you to gather them deliberately, even though they're about them biyadayim. So that's the normal way of using stuff, right? The normal usage. Okay. So what about the case here? Is that the case as well? I mean, why is that the case here? Okay. It should be this case here as well. So the you should be allowed to gather it. So like allowed to collect the wood, and it should be bought though, right? Right? So the Gemara answers af hachakain. It says it says, yeah, you should be able to do it. Tamar, so Gemara asks, what do you mean? Tamar, mizeh ola biyado. There, every thing he gathers, he has a mixture, right? Where you ground it, or where you're collecting the teos, there's a whole mixture. But here, kol hateva ola biyado. No, there's no teva actually, but the truma comes up in his hand. That the everything you take is truma. I guess you're not asking really from the case of the gathering the sticks because then it doesn't really fit this bill. So they were saying that there by grinding it, so then everything comes together because you're putting everything in the mill and grinding it together. So it's a complete tarovis. But here, each piece you take, maybe it's a tevot shulgan. There's no actual tarovis, definite tarovis for each. When you're collecting each piece is individual, right? So says Gemara, b'shelikei me'achas. So when it says, well, you know what? Still, that's when you take from one regina, one patch. You're right. Maybe the whole patch is truma. So having likei mishteyem, you took from two patches together, and or more, of course. So mizu all of the other. That's the case with trumachia. That's similar to the case of the ground flour, and therefore it is okay. Yeah, okay. Then the next part of the Mishnah was the tevel is gidula mutarin by davar shazar kala. Eat them from them a snack. Davar shazar kala even giduli ma'asar until you take up shum maestros. And then we said what davar shazar kala lufin shum solim, and Rabbi says no, shum is like barley. Okay, so Gemara says ad hechon. How many generations of produce do we say that the gula tevel also with davar shazar kala? So Rabbi Yaakov Bar Adi, Shem Rabbi Yochanan said, ad shalosh gronos. Gidule. That which grows from that which grows from that which grew. After that, you didn't snack from them. Varvius Muteris. The fourth generation is okay. Rabbi Shimon bar Duma Ba Kumi Rabbi Money. Ramana, sorry. Bitruma ad Kama. In Truma itself, what's my place here? Yeah, that was Tevel, right? So in Truma itself, our Mishnah about Tevel. I'm not going to do Truma. I made a mistake. Tevel Gidula, right? So that is it's up to three generations now allowed to snack. The fourth is okay. But Truma Kama. If it's Gidule Truma, to what generation do I say that it is considered to be Gidule Truma? So Amalei said also going Arvius going Rishona. He said the fourth Zavashain Zaro Kole. The fourth is like the about till now also about Davashin Zaro Kole. We said up to three generations is 4 generations mutter. Now we're talking about Truma Davashin Zaro Kole. He says on that the Goravius is Gorav Rishona, and he says Ma Gorav Rishona Davish Zaro Kole b'Truma Asur. The Gorav Rishona, if it's Davish Zaro Kole, Davish Zaro Kole. The Truma it's still Asur. By Tevel it's mutter. By Davish because that was the ratio of the Mishnah, right? The ratio of this part of the Mishnah. I've Goravius. B'Davish Ein Zaro Kole. Goravius. B'Davish Ein Zaro Kole b'Truma Asur. Tevel mutter. By Truma it's Asur, and by Tevel it's mutter. So, but the fifth is okay. The inference is the fifth is okay. Just like you do the Truma, B'Davish Zaro Kole is mutter. The fifth generation by Davish Ein Zaro Kole is mutter. So, the Gemara asks, Ma Islucha. What kind of case do you have by vegetables we can make gidulin by Davish Ein Zaro Kole without planting fresh? I guess the bulbs peter out after a while. So where is the case where it doesn't peter out up to the fifth generation? It says a myself kana klisin. We don't know what it is, says the Kavan. Okay, but it seems like a type of lettuce. This type of lettuce can grow up to 5 generations from the same bulb. Okay, then the Mishnah said the shum is like seorim. So Ra'avav B'Shem might be that the garlic is like barley. B'Shem said shum ad kisora. What did he mean by that? He meant the garlic is if it's less than a size of a barley, it's considered to be a davar shazara kole. Shum ad kisora al davar shazara kole. And so therefore, if you plant the shum of tevel or of truma when it's less than the size of a seora, it's like zara kole. And evidently because it's not that size not eaten. If it's larger than that, then it's considered davar shein zara kole, and even the gedulim are also. He said that garlic is like barley. Garlic is like barley for all intents and purposes. And that means that it's a kula. It doesn't matter how large it is. Even if it's larger, it's still like davar shazara kole, just like barley. And the evidently says the Rambam that the reason why I mentioned barley, because barley's evidently rot more in the ground more than other grain and legumes. Okay. So, article says the same thing. It's interesting. He brings down the Pharisees so asked the question. That's the pshat. How can Rabbi Yehuda and Chacham are in Metzius, whether the garlic is different color or not? Okay? Doesn't mean that the Ramadan is not very so. I don't know. I don't know enough about me to comment on that. Okay, says the Mishnah, Halacha Gimel, 7 Mishnah. If you are taking out plucking out the bad grasses in order that your vegetables grow better, and you're doing this in lettuces, Afal Pisha Piros of Tevel, you do it with a Nachri, with a non-Jew, in the non-Jew's land in Eretz Yisrael. They do it in these chasios, these lettuces, like the bulb with the luft, the shum, mitzvah kaflutos, and they normally are planted, like we said, the bulb is planted, not the seed. So after so tevel, even though the fruit is tevel, the produce is tevel when it's planted, because we assumed they already had been going to be ruach and it became tevel, and the goy did not fix them up. And you do a tevel also b'davar shein zara kolet. Nevertheless, ochamei marai, you're allowed to stack from these. Because the way I was going to explain it. Shesile truma shenitmu. You have vegetables such as cabbages, etc., which you made truma, and then you plant them back in the ground, and they had been tame. Once you planted them in the ground, tiram and tame, they no longer tame. They become tar. But you're not allowed to eat. Even though they should become tar, we don't say the tumah completely went away. Now the kohen not allowed to eat you're not allowed to eat this as if it's tumah tmei still, but it's not metame others. So you make like a shlishi l'tumah, which is puzzle, but not you're allowed to, but it's not doesn't not eat it, but it's not as a puzzle others. Until you remove the leaves that were there at the time it was replanted. And the leaves which come afterwards are much of the kohen to eat as tar. He said also the second leaves which grow are usher, only the third leaves which grow are mutter for the kohanim to eat. And that brings us, I think, to the top of Tzadi coming out. So stop here for today.